Good evening. How can I help you? Yes, you are at the right place. Are you new and looking to register? Splendid. We normally have people set up a consultation appointment because the paperwork can be a bit lengthy, but we are pretty slow tonight. If you have the time, I can take you out back and fill out a consultation form with you. Does that sound fine? Are you comfortable with that? Lovely, darling. Well, you can take your things with you and follow me. Are you new to this hobby or are you familiar? No, of course we love newbies. This is a very open and accepting place. And that's why we have consultations, so you know what to expect and can get accustomed to some of the way things work around here. Feel free to take a seat wherever and I'll grab some paperwork. Can I offer you anything to drink while you're here? Gotcha. I'll be right back. Make yourself comfortable. Alrighty, here we are. Now, since you are new to this, I will be taking things slow and in detail. Or as much detail as makes you comfortable. If at all you are uncomfortable or want to head out, please let me know. Now, some preliminary corporate questions, if you don't mind. These are optional, by the way, but help us as a community. Where did you hear about us? Is there one thing about us that interested you specifically? How far are you traveling from? Lastly, how frequent of a customer are you thinking or hoping to be? Great. Okay, now with those out of the way, thank you again for answering them. The next part is a little less formal. Let's really get started. My name is Red and I am one of the hostesses here. Since being a part of our community is a big investment, we just want to make sure we understand what your expectations are and can make sure that we can meet those expectations before you drop a bunch of money here. As well as understand what our expectations are so we don't have any legal issues on our hands. Now, you've noted what initially drew you to us, but can you maybe explain a little bit more? We offer many different things here. While we do have individual playmates, we also offer private rooms for rent that you are welcome to bring guests into and use the equipment. We have pillow palaces, wet rooms, your typical dungeons, and a few special rooms I am more than happy to give you a tour of if they're available tonight. As a newbie, our playmates are selected for you for your first few sessions based on intensity and your particular desires. As you get more comfortable and our staff gets to know you a little bit better, that's when we take off the training wheels and give you more range of choice. Low intensity being things like platonic touching, sensual cuddling, or just having an ear to listen. High intensity being more along the lines of breath play and weapons. All by trained professionals, I assure you. Based on what you mentioned earlier, I would recommend starting you somewhere in the middle to low end of that scale. Don't be embarrassed. This is not to make you feel any certain way. This is also to protect our staff. We don't want to throw our staff into a room with someone they're not comfortable with, and then add some knives into the mix. Here, everything is about trust, and you can only earn trust over time. Which is why I do recommend you visiting maybe every once or every 2 weeks. Is that something you'd be able to do? Then as things evolve, you can come as frequently as our schedule allows. Can you tell me a few things you may be interested in, or things you may not be very familiar with but would like to know more? Wonderful, okay. Those topics are things we are trained for, naturally. And it's okay to be shy, darling. I've been here a long time, and I can promise you it would be hard to find a request that surprised me. This is a space where people come to live out fantasies that you normally have a hard time experiencing in the outside world. Are we clear on that? Great. What am I interested in? I don't get asked that often at consultations. Are you okay with me sharing? To help spark your imagination? I am not usually one of the playmates, so I'll mostly be sharing from personal and private experiences. I love to be more dominant, which many of our staff can elegantly perform for you. I particularly like my playmates tied up and begging. I don't do much of the hard-hitting stuff, but a more sensual and smooth kind of touch. You'd be surprised how much someone would beg for the smallest touch of a feather, if you know how to do it right. I also really enjoy when my clients can appreciate a good boy and good girl here and there. Getting back on track, if you are still unsure if this is the place worth your investment, we also offer a free session to the clients who complete the optional part of our consultation. Which you did. Yay. So do you think you would like to set up a free trial session? I have the preliminary paperwork for that. We ask some basic questions and try to set you up with a great teacher the first time around. Ready for those questions? Okay. Some may be superficial, but this is the one place where it is okay to be a little bit picky about what you do and with who. Any preferences on blonde, brunettes, redheads, or others of the like? And is there a preference in body type that would make you feel most comfortable on your first session? Gender specific? Do you prefer a strict to the point teaching style or a more nurturing style? What is one thing you definitely want to experience in your first session? And what is one thing that is a hard no for you on your first session? These sessions are exploratory, so we want to make sure our teachers don't accidentally cross any lines. Great, great. A typical session is about an hour long, but you're welcome to bow out for any reason early. Do I teach? I used to teach, but I found there was a lot more need on the business side of our community, so I stepped into that role. But I'm flattered. Would you consider me as your teacher? I'm a bit rusty on things, so I'll have to give it some consideration with our playmates and to see if someone doesn't align better with your requests. But you do get some brownie points from me. Now, shall we pick a date for your first session?